What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Welcome to the show, guys. If you're new to the podcast or channel, welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel. If you're into anime, if you're into nerd culture, if you're into video games, then we talk about all of that shit here. We got an interesting show today, guys. A lot to discuss. I'm going to be talking some Demon Slayer news. Yes, some AEW. What went down this past week. They had a nice little show. Going to talk about that a little bit. Also some bad news, I guess you can say, some delays, if you will. And I knew this was coming, but I'll get into that as well. Also, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that came out, episode 1. We have Sony in an acquisition that they bought, a major acquisition in my eyes, because, you know, if you don't know anything about me, I love my fighting games. So, yeah, going to be talking about that. Also, Justice League Snyder Cut is out. Yes, I just literally finished watching it before the recording of this podcast, guys. So I want to talk a little bit about that as well. I mean, a lot of shit going down. I mean, we got some Xbox Game Pass news, I guess you can call it. A game that was kind of teetering on the cusp of being released for free, and there was a time constraint thing in the air. All that I'm going to talk about. And then anime watch list. Did I get any anime done? I'm going to talk about that as well. And yeah, let's begin the fucking show. Let me start off by saying to everybody who is listening, watching, or whatever, guys, especially my fans who's been with me for years, but the newcomers most importantly, if you guys want to know more about me, want to know more about, you know, what I do, what I enjoy, things of that nature, you want to get in depth more on that type of stuff, man, you can go to www.studiomacgyver.com and you can get all the information there, guys. You can stream the podcast there, download the episodes there. You can also get a hold of all of my handles from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and more on there. So there's all kind of ways you can get access to me. Also, there's merch. I have a merch store as well, so you can get merch. You can also support the show by buying merch, like a hoodie or a t-shirt or a coffee mug. Anything like that will definitely help out the show. So that is also cool. So yeah, one more time, studiomacgyver.com. Check that out. The link, if you're watching the channel, will be in the description as well. So yeah, man, just wanted to lay that out there for you guys. And it's been beautiful growing the show, growing the podcast, and I'm trying to, you know, do videos now for YouTube, and eventually one day, hopefully, get some new fans there. I'm just trying to expand, trying to get better every year, guys, and that's part of the plan. That is part of, you know, what I'm trying to do here. So with all that being said, let's get on with the show. And the first thing I want to talk about, I think I want to address is, man, you know what? It's kind of hard to choose. I'm going down the list and I'm trying to figure out, what do I want to start with? And I think I'm going to talk about my anime watch list. And the reason why I'm just going to start there is because I didn't watch a lot of anime this past week, guys. And yeah, really hardly none at all. I just started one, okay? If you guys aren't familiar, I haven't been waiting for Attack on Titan to finish, and it's almost complete. I think the last episode, which is the 16th episode, is going to be dropping on like the 29th of March. Okay, somewhere around there. And then, so the end of this month, then I can stream, I can binge Attack on Titan. That's what I'm waiting for. I've been really, really surprised that I made it this far without watching it and breaking down and looking at it. But it's cool. That's something for me to set up. You know, what one of my favorite things to do, me personally, that I love, is when I'm trying to watch anime or I'm trying to like set my schedule for anime shows that I'm gonna watch. You know, I like to line, if I can possibly, I would love to line up at least 2 back to back. So I say, okay, I have this one I just found and discovered and I'm digging. Okay, so what am I going to do when I finish this? I need one more. I need that security blanket. Give me one more so I can watch it when that's finished. And then, you know, sometimes you get lucky and you do that, and sometimes you just don't have time. You don't you don't do it that way. But that's my dream routine as far as watching anime, if I could do it every time. But right now I'm kind of like in that wheelhouse. So basically where I'm at now is, you know, I'm in on fucking Netflix, you know, yeah, Netflix, like High Rise Invasion, you know, mop that up, which is an excellent anime. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But next is The Beginning. There's an anime called The Beginning. It's been out for a while. Season 1. Luckily I didn't watch it. It missed me. It was on my to watch list, which a lot of anime are, but I get around to them when I get around to them. And this one was one that I finally wanted to address and get to. And luckily, what gave me that segue is the fact that season 2 is now out. So I will be able to watch not one season, but 2 seasons. So that's a beautiful thing. I always love that. And I started 2 episodes already on the first season, and I'm really, really loving the direction that it's going. Hopefully it keeps me there. It's got to be pretty good because I had a season 2 out. So I'm excited about it and where it's going to go. Okay. A lot of you guys have probably seen this, or a lot of you may have not, but that's on my to watch list. So currently I'll be watching that this next coming week. And then when I finish that, I will move on to Attack on Titan. Finally, the last season, and I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do. I haven't been watching anything on the anime. I don't want any spoilers or anything like that. I'm just trying to stay clear of that and get to that when I get to it very soon. So I'll probably be cashing that in at the end of this month, early next month. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going down. Excuse me. Anyway, that's what's been going on in my anime watch list world right now. And like last night I watched I started Chivalry of a Failed Knight again. I don't know, I just keep always finding myself going back to that anime, man. Like I'm on Hulu and I'm like watching another show. I forgot the damn name of the show I was watching, but I watch that weekly. A Snowfall which is a dope show. If you have Hulu, definitely check out Snowfall. It's a dope little show. It's not an anime or anything like that, but it's just a regular show. Yeah, it's about I think it takes place like in the 80s. Yeah, the 80s, and it's, like one your typical drug drama, I guess, if you will. But some interesting characters in there, and yeah, you'll. I think you guys will like it, definitely. But I was watching that, and then I was going through my, watch list, and I stumbled upon, Chivalry of a Failed Knight, man, and I couldn't resist, even though I have the DVD and I bought the Blu-ray and all this. I don't, I couldn't resist. So I hit the first episode. I said, okay, maybe I'll watch an episode before bed. One episode turned into like 6. You know what I mean? So I just love that anime. If you guys haven't seen Chivalry of a Failed Knight yet, and you're looking for something nice, you're looking for a complete palette, then you should definitely check this out. You want your action, you got your fucking, you got your slice of life, but you also got your harem anime mixed in there a little bit. I mean, it delivers on all cylinders, in my opinion. I just really, really love that. And then watching it last night made me realize, because this is one of the animes that continued, but it didn't continue in anime form. It continued. The manga exists. It's been done, but they never finished the fucking anime portion of it after the first season, which kills me. But the anime is so good in the way that it ended. It could have ended the way that it ended and still been cool. Like there's like, it would have been a nice little story like that. Kind of like how I felt about Sword Art Online. They could have ended that with season 1 and been cool, but now I have to know what happened when it comes to Chivalry of a Failed Knight. So I am going to be searching for the manga, and I have to pick that up. I have to read that. I have to find out what happened next with that one. But yeah, that's just one of my sleeper hits. One of my it's become one of my all-time favorite anime. It just has. It's one of those that just kind of hit me upside the head, came out of the blue, kind of like High Score Girl did, which is another fucking one of my favorites now. It's a non-shonen anime, which is crazy. I never thought I'd be saying having a non-shonen anime be one of my favorites. That's crazy because I grew up on, I grew up on shonen. I mean, Dragon Ball was like the first anime I ever saw, ever fell in love with. I mean, I still love Dragon Ball to this day for what it's done for me. It introduced me to, and the world of anime is where I cut my teeth and all of that. But, I was kind of single-minded. I was kind of, I had a one-track mind when it came to anime, and this completely changed the way I thought about anime. This is one of the ones that completely changed the way I felt about what I should be watching with anime. And then I started moving on to like other dope anime, non-shonen anime, like Rent a Girlfriend and shit like that. Yeah, it's just like there's a lot of dope ones out here, guys. So I'm just saying, just don't try to move in and out of different lanes. I promise you'll thank me for it later. Your palette will be a lot better. It'll be a lot better layered. I mean, it would just be, it's just better. It's a better experience. You know what I mean? Just try new things. It won't hurt you, I promise. You can always just stop watching if you don't like it. And you're going to see some that you don't agree with or you don't like necessarily, but you're also going to, find some excellent ones, man, that might even become some of your favorite all time. So, yeah. I'm going to be doing some shopping this next week, and I'm definitely looking for some merch, and one of those includes High Score Girl, definitely. And if I could find something on a Shivery of a Failed Night, I will. I actually designed a Shivery of a Failed Night t-shirt design. Yeah. And I'm going to be, I'm thinking about moving some of these designs to the actual merch store, guys, because right now in the merch store, I currently just have things surrounding the podcast, which is, Studio MacGyver based type of stuff, things I talk about here, little slogans and stuff that I use that a lot of you guys are familiar with. But I'm thinking about, adding some more anime based things to the store. So yeah, I think I'm going to start doing that. I just don't want to flood it too much, but yeah, I think some of my favorite anime designs and ideas that I've had should definitely go on the shop. So give you guys a little bit more of some options, you know what I mean, to support your boy. But anyway, let's get off the anime list, guys. That's what I've been doing. That's what's been going on in that world of mine. And then I've still been watching a lot of fucking wrestling. That has been the meat and potatoes of the last few weeks of everything I've been consuming, man. I mean, I just had some kind of resurgence of it, and I'm watching old shit, I'm watching new shit, and just crazy, man. I've been watching pay-per-views, like a lot of old TNA stuff / Impact Wrestling, which I'd have to put on my list of favorite. WCW was number one as a kid growing up, and then when the shit happened with Vince McMahon, when he bought all the companies and shit, and ECW and all that, he sucked those up. Then I gravitated towards TNA Wrestling, which is also known as Impact Wrestling. So that'd have to be like my favorite. And back in those days, I'm talking about like back in 2005 all the way to like, maybe 2013 or some shit like that. Right around that time frame is when I, all the wrestlers, that I love, like Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, the Fallen Angel, Kazarian, Frankie Kazarian, and you can't forget Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, like those guys, Abyss, all those characters. Those are the ones that some of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and they all came from, most of them wrestled at TNA and Impact, and a lot of them also did Ring of Honor, but most of them also were in Japan a lot, you know what I mean? So like I said, man, these guys are just fucking wet. Okay, I haven't used that word in a long time. WETT for the new listeners. If you don't know what that means, wet means amazing or highly skilled. It's a word I use, sometimes, and that's how I describe somebody who's just that. And a lot of these wrestlers are fucking wet. So, with that being said, yeah, man, I've just been watching a lot of wrestling, and AEW, of course, is one of those when you think of wrestling for me, that brought me kind of back into that world. And we're talking about Jericho when he was in Japan and all this other shit. But they had an event that was happened St. Patrick's Day. It was called the St. Patrick's Day Slam, and it featured the women's match for the main event. And this is something that you're starting to see a lot of resurgence happening. I don't even say resurgence because it never was a thing back in the day, but now you're starting to see women being actually treated, on the same level as the men when it comes to wrestling. You know what I mean? It's just, they've come a long fucking way. I mean, when you think back to like the divas and all of those, like half of those females, man, weren't wrestlers. Okay. They were just propped up. They were products that were created to sell tickets. You know what I mean? To create buzz. I mean, the Attitude Era and all these things, most of these women weren't wrestlers. They just were, they were beautiful women who, fucked around a little bit in the ring. Okay. They learned a few tricks and they stuck to that kind of code, and then they just ran with it. But now you have women who are actually gung-ho about the fucking sport, and they're very good at what they do, and you see it in spades when you watch AEW, and even just all the other products that are out there now. You know, like Charlotte Flair and all them. I remember I saw a Charlotte Flair match recently, man. I was just like, man, she really is fucking wet. No pun intended. When I talk about it in the women's context, but yeah, she's extremely amazing and highly skilled, man. But yeah, her. I mean, there's a lot of other women out there, but the main event of this was like this chick named Dr. Britt Baker, who was a beautiful woman as well, and also she went up against a woman named Thunder Rosa, who's known out here in these wrestling streets. I did some checking up on her, and yeah, she's really something else too. I mean, they put on a fucking extravagant match. Like, everybody on the internet in the wrestling world was talking about this fucking match, man. It got bloody, it got dark, and I see why that match was made for the main event. And now it's good to know that whatever you watch for a main event in wrestling nowadays, if it's whether it's women wrestling or guys, you can get some really dope shit. And you also had, I think, Cody Rhodes went up against Penta El Zero, man, which that guy there is Pentacon Jr. He also goes by the name of an excellent wrestler from Mexico, man, one of the best, especially in recent years, who've basically hit that fucking stardom. He's like major now everywhere, very popular, and he's had a lot of dope matches with a lot of different wrestlers, man. Yeah, so fucking dope. And it were more matches involved, but yeah, this was a dope little event that they had, man. TNT's doing some dope shit. They know what they're doing now, and I really, really enjoyed that pay-per-view. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit and give you guys, a little taste of, how I felt about, what's taking place out here in the wrestling world, out here in these wrestling streets. Okay, anyway, let's get on past that. I meant to mention this in the anime segment, but might as well bring it up now. Demon Slayer. We finally fucking have a Western release date, okay? And surprised the fuck out of me. I'm so happy that it's not that far away, and that's April. It's in April next month on the 23rd, okay? That's when we'll have a theater release. Now, the question is, man, how to watch it, where to watch it. With the COVID situation. COVID is still out here. It's not ready to go quite yet. I'm still a little touchy, still a little shaky with the COVID shit. I don't know where I sit on going to the theater trying to watch this shit. Now, personally, like me, I haven't even been to the mall in, I can't remember the last time I've been to the fucking mall. It's been a year since I've been to the fucking mall, easy. But I'm ready to go back. You know what I mean? Been trying to buy some things, and not everything you can buy online, like clothes. For me, I can't do that shit. I mean, now even shirts, for the most part, I can kind of get away with it, but it just depends on, they make different sizes and things. Got to make sure they look right, because I've bought shirts online and then I put them on and they just didn't look right on me. But then when you go to the mall or whatever and you go try it on, it gives you an opportunity to really look at it. And if it works for you or whatever. So especially jeans, like I'll never ever buy jeans online, man, ever. Okay, I have to try them on. I just have to. So that's what I'm pretty much shopping for. Now shoes, hey, I can order those all day online. That's probably one of the only things I would order online is shoes. Okay, my size is universal, and I've never had a bad pair that I had offline that didn't fit or whatever. So I live, like I said, close to one of the biggest malls in America, the second largest mall, which is the Grapevine Mills Mall. And, I wanted to go out there and spend some time out there, but like on like a Tuesday mid-afternoon when, nobody's really there. That's my time. Like, fuck going on Friday, Saturday, or even Sunday, because, everybody's out. Everybody's trying to do that shit. So for me, that's the plan for me. And I'm going to go out and do a little shopping. You know what I mean? Definitely want to go hit up Hot Topic. Love that fucking store because they have, nice, beautiful selections with the anime shirts and the dope shirts that they have. So I'm going to see what they have to offer. But I just need some new clothes. It's been a minute. I need to go and get some of this shit done. Okay, so that's the plan. But Demon Slayer, that's probably when if I'd go to the theater to go watch it, that's when I would go, like on a Tuesday, Tuesday morning. like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock or some shit, or studio movie bar and grill. You know what I mean? Like they have like $5, $6 tickets. Go in there, get a plate, get something to eat, sit down, watch the shit when there's hardly anybody there. You know, and I've been there before the pandemic hit, and on those days it is super fucking dead, and I love it. I mean, I'm talking about maybe like a handful of people in there. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. Poke my head in to see what it looks like. I really want to see this movie. You know, the last movie I actually saw at a theater was what was it? It was a My Hero Academia movie, man. Yeah, the Two Heroes movie. That's the last movie I fucking saw at the theater. So yeah, it's been a minute. I don't go to the movies a lot anyway, but when I do go, you know, I definitely go for the anime events now that we're getting more of those in. And if it's just something I just have to see, then I'll go with the girlfriend or whatever. You know, she might drag me out to there or something. But other than that, no. But HBO's doing their fucking thing. I wanted to segue into that because, you know, getting these movies for a whole 30 days before they take them off and they go into theaters was crazy, because what's is even more crazy is my daughter is in Chicago right now visiting my brother and um out there doing her thing, but she went to the movies today, and guess what she saw? The Wonder Woman movie. And what's the craziest thing about that is when it came out on HBO, when it first came out, she also saw it here at the house. We all sat in here and watched it, which I thought it was, I'm gonna be honest, completely honest, it was pretty trash. It was just barely okay. And I mean barely. Like, and it was only because, you know, the main star is, I love her. But other than that, like, I just thought the plot and everything about that was just, man, it was nothing like the first one. The first one went hard. The second one did not. I think they dropped the ball really, really bad on that one. But she liked it. A lot of people apparently feel that way because, you know, she went and saw it again. So I guess but yeah, but as far as the other movies and other things that came out and that's coming out, I'm excited for the last day of this month. I'm excited for the King Kong movie. I can't wait to watch that one. That's, I think, what, March 31st? Yeah, the last day this month. Gonna watch that. Gonna love that. Um, I literally just got through watching Justice League Snyder's Cut right before I recorded this episode, this show, guys. 4 hours fucking long. 4 hours and 2 minutes to be exact. And man, we watched it. We watched it all, and it was good, man. It's definitely, it almost made me think that, damn, the first movie shouldn't even had came out, or been made to come out at theaters if it was going to get made that way compared to what I just saw, because it was like night and day, because there was so much missing from the first movie, and it just felt like a complete package after watching it now, because you had all these heroes, different heroes in here, and you know, you have to get acquainted with every one of them. You can't just have, you know, have some lopsided, you know, where you get a backstory on one or two, and then the rest you're just like, okay, you see them for 5 minutes, and then you're supposed to believe what they're trying to portray, you know, the camaraderie and all of that stuff. You can't do that. It's not enough time. You know what I mean? And you got to fit all that stuff in there. Like Cyborg was a character that they kind of dropped the ball on. Like there was hardly anything on Cyborg in the first movie, and you finally get to see his story fleshed out. And I just really liked the direction that they went with this. And even I'm wondering what the future is going to look like, because supposedly this guy's doing a couple more movies, Snyder is, and I'm wondering, you know, is his plan to do like the theatrical releases and then do another fucking Snyder cut on these fucking movies as a cash grab, or as, you know, I can't blame him, because he had a vision and he came with the vision, and it was just his supervisors and the way that directors have to deal with the industry, and how you have time constraints on movies. You can't have a fucking 4 hour movie in theaters. Like most people don't do that. And, you know, you have to do that. You have to obey that. And the Snyder Cut was just his way of coming out and saying, look, this is what my vision was, and here it is now. Because the buzz is crazy. Everybody wanted to, you know, more. They wanted to know what was missing, and they wanted to get that full package, and they finally did. So I guess I can't blame him for that. But if he's going to be directing movies like this, you know, I mean, we're going to probably see some more Snyder Cuts, because you just can't fit everything in for 2 hours of movie. It's just not enough for some of these movies. You just can't. Now, some can be done like that, but when you're talking about things like superheroes and stuff, when you got a bunch of them, I mean, yeah, you got to kind of draw the shit out, okay, to make for it to make more sense. But I really liked it. If you guys have HBO Max, definitely check it out. It's theirs for you, and you got about a month to watch it, and then it'll be gone. So definitely check that shit out. I really think that you guys will fucking enjoy it. All right. Um, now that we're talking, now that we're done with the Snyder Cut, let's jump into, what do I want to jump into now? Should I? Okay, let's jump into Falcon and Winter Soldier. That just dropped. If you guys are familiar, this past Friday, and this is one I've been waiting on so bad. Now, WandaVision was cool, but this, Falcon Winter Soldier was more my speed. And when I say the first episode was 49 minutes, which was surprising to me because Disney Plus is known for their 30-minute episodes. You know what I mean? But hopefully we get every episode we get, which we're only getting 6. Hopefully those episodes are about the same time. We don't get 30-minute episodes or whatever. But man, this fucking episode was amazing, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, Falcon is fucking extremely wet. Winter Soldier is too. Don't get it twisted, but Falcon is fucking wet. He's becoming one of my favorite characters in the Marvel universe, guys. Always liked him. Captain America is not my favorite superhero of all time out of everybody, even over Batman, and that's saying something. Like slightly over Batman, he is. Batman is second, but he's becoming one of my favorite heroes out here in this universe now. And that's before he took over the mantle and all of that shit. Just him as a character, expanding on him as a person and everything like that. And then the guy playing him, Mackie, I think his last name is Mackie. I can't remember his first name, but Anthony Mackie. Yeah, dude I love him. I love him as an actor, man. I've been watching a shit ton of his movies. He's got a lot of shit out there. If you guys don't know, Google him, man. He's all over the fucking place with movies, man. He's got that it factor when it comes to like action movies and stuff. Like it just works for him. Some people just have that. There's not, you can't really define it. It's just some people have it, some people don't. And he's one of those guys that can do an action movie and they can do it well. And he's just that guy. And it doesn't even have to be an action movie either, but he just really thrives in that field. And I love his fucking, his character as Falcon in this. And if you guys have not seen it, which most of you have, if you have Disney Plus, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I can't wait for the movie. I can't wait for the next episode, to be honest with you, and find out how this happens, how everything gets drawn out, and how he actually, begins to take over that mantle. I just think that's an interesting and awesome story arc where they're going with this. This is one of my favorite story arcs of recent years, because I've read up on it and how it came to be and everything. So I'm glad that they're doing it in the MCU, and I just want to see where they're going to go with it, because I think Captain America is coming back, if I'm not mistaken. But the question is, in what capacity? Like, what will he be doing? Will he still be old? I don't fucking know, guys. Are they going to go off in the books? How it happens? We shall see. But right now, this Falcon Winter Soldier shit is going to be fire, and I can't fucking wait for the whole thing to finish. I'll definitely be watching this one a few times. I'll probably go back and watch the first episode again in the next coming days, because, like I said, it's awesome. It's fucking amazing. Anyway, let's move on. And let's talk about some Sony fucking news. But before I get to Sony, I got to get over and talk to you guys about a delay that has taken place. There's a fucking delay, and it's Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights has been delayed to 2022. If you're not familiar with Gotham Knights, it's a game about, it's going to be, it looks like an online game. It's going to be online only, from what I'm understanding. And you play, basically Batman's supposed to be dead, and you basically play as his team, his squad. You have Nightwing, which is another one of my favorite characters in the DC universe, and you have, I think, Batgirl, and you also have, I want to say you have Damian as well. Okay, But yeah, it looks good. The premise of it looks nice and everything like that, but it has been delayed. And I'm not surprised. I can't really say that I'm surprised at this because, like I said, COVID is out here in these streets, and it's still lingering around, and the effects are still taking place. And this is not going to be the only victim, guys. I promise you, this is not going to be the only victim when it comes to delays in games. I've already told you some other games, some major AAA games that I feel are not going to make it this year, guys. And we shall see. Final Fantasy 16. God of War Ragnarok. I mean, even Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West. I mean, that might not make it. So, I mean, I figure by summer we should know more about that. By the summer, by July, we should know the fate of these games going forward, if it's going to come out this year or not, because that's when we get a lot of big reveals. We get a lot of game drops and stuff like that in the summertime. It's setting us up for the holiday season, and I think that is going to be when we get that information. And I'm telling you, I cannot wait to readdress this at a later date and talk about this stuff, because I'm really thinking that that's what's going to happen. And then on top of all of the boo-boo, most of us can't find a PlayStation 5, and it's crazy that we can't find it. I don't know. And if I'm being honest, if I'm being blunt here, especially as a Sony guy, okay, Sony is, in my opinion, Sony looks to be losing the battle of the PlayStation 5 versus the Xbox Series X right now, okay, as we stand. And it's just got a lot to do with everything that's been going on with Sony right now, with just not able to, have the systems available, all these fucking scalpers. I mean, just the interface, there's things going on with, a lot of different things going on with the system, okay, right now. It needs to be updated, no games, a lot of these things. Now, Xbox is what's really got them going is their fucking Game Pass. They're really making strides with this Game Pass shit. They are. Because every time I turn around, there's another game that is out now, free on Game Pass. Okay? All the Madden shit, all the EA shit. Like I said, I'm not buying an EA Sports game unless it's free. Okay? And it is free now, so I'll play Madden, but I'll play it on the Xbox for free. Okay? But hey, I can play it now and not have to worry about spending that money, because EA doesn't deserve all of my money. They don't. Okay? Because they have their own fucking butter, and they even have, their own endo now. I meant to tell you guys that they actually are growing. They have a plant in somewhere in Canada right now, and they're growing their own endo. They even have their own scroll paper. Yeah, their own brand of endo sticks. And I've heard a little birdie has told me that they are actually working on their own brand of sake as well. So, getting people fucked up, getting them incapacitated, and doing strange things to them in the dark. That is what they specialize in, guys, and they have not pulled any punches on doing that moving into the future. So I'll leave it there. And I just want to say that, there's a lot of work to do. This COVID shit has definitely caused some issues, but you can't blame it all on COVID, okay? Like I said, there's nothing real that has really been announced this year for the Sony PlayStation 5. Just keep marking my words, guys. Just remember what I'm saying now, okay? So moving forward, we're gonna see. I don't see shit start to pick up until 2022, sometime, and I'm not even talking about early 2022. I mean like mid to late. So, third, fourth quarter 2022 is when things are gonna, I think, finally start to gain some traction, if you will. But that's where I'm at right there. That's just how I feel, man, about that. But the Game Pass is just crazy right now. They also have an indie showcase coming up like March 26th, if you guys didn't know about that. And they're being more upfront now, which I appreciate. They're letting people know, like, look, this is what we're going to be showing. This is not going to be here. These AAA games aren't going to be here, but we have these indie games here, so definitely check us out for that. And there's just games that have been announced that they said maybe or may not be available on the Game Pass, and one of those definitely made me smile. was Outriders, which the demo is out now. If you guys haven't played it, check it out. It's a pretty dope little game, especially for co-op and stuff like that. But yes, Outriders is definitely going to be available for free day one if you have Game Pass. That has been confirmed. So I think that's I want to say this month or April. I want to say the 1st of April. Yeah, I think I want to say April 1st is when that game comes out. But it comes out very, very soon. And it's going to be free on the Game Pass. So there you go. You don't even have to pay for it. And then another game that I was looking forward to playing was more of an indie title. It was called Narita Boy. If you haven't heard about Narita Boy, Narita Boy, check that out. It looks dope. It's like a retro style action RPG type of experience. It just looks really sick, man, and wavy. And I'm really looking forward to playing this one. Definitely, and listen to the soundtrack as well, because I love that genre of music as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be free. I need to check on the release date of that. If they've announced it, it's got to be coming out pretty soon. Definitely got it. I'm going to double check on that and see when that's dropping. But also a game that I never got a chance to play yet was Octopath Traveler. It's an RPG, turn-based RPG, traditional type of game, but it's a beautiful game in the 16-bit realm. And yeah, it's going to be free. So definitely going to be playing that there. Thought about getting that for the Switch. I remember when it first came out, but I decided to, hold off on that one on the Switch. But yeah, I'm going to play it there. If I love it, I think I might, then I might have to think about maybe finding a copy of my own for the Switch. Games I really, really love. If it's available for the Switch, I like to know I could have it there because, that portability is just, that's the thing that Switch has over everybody else right now. Anyway, I thought I'd share that information with you guys. But yeah, Xbox has a lot of things going for it. Also, don't forget about Undertale. Is another game that's pretty dope that I've wanted to play. So yeah, man, it's a lot of money that I'll be saving on buying the game for the PS5 or PS4 or the Switch or whatever. But it's available for free. Hey, I can save a lot of ducats. Okay, it's just really, really worth having. It's one of the better things in gaming right now. If you have a PC or if you have an Xbox, some sort of Xbox system, it just really is, man. And then when I do eventually get my Xbox Series X, I can just, log into my account there. Boom. You have it both systems, yada, yada. You know what I mean? Bang, bang. So Xbox is doing a lot of good things, a lot of things right and a lot of things well. Okay. Yes, they don't have a lot of games right now coming out. But what does Sony have right now? Yeah, they have announcements, but announcements can always be changed. We've seen it a million fucking times, guys. We have. Okay, they tell us one thing to get the system sold, to get, all the stuff happening, and it doesn't happen. Okay? Now, one thing about Sony that is bothering themselves is the fact that they have all these systems that have been bought. Yes, they made their money off the system, but what they're upset about now is the fact that they don't have anything else. So systems are bought to play games on. So if you buy a system and it sits there, there's nothing else. The money stops there. I mean, Sony wants people to buy the system and then go after the games, go onto the Game Pass, buy the accessories, things of that nature. But if you don't have a fucking system, what good is all those things? They're not. It's worthless, right? So they're losing a lot of fucking money after the fact of, selling those things. You're not going to sell anything sitting in somebody's shelf in the garage with a whole bunch of other consoles, waiting to pull out the butter on all the consumers and fuck people. It's just not the way it rolls. It's not the way it works. So, they got to do something about this. And the only thing I can see them doing is putting out more product. But there's been shortages in certain chips and things of that nature because of the COVID situation. So they're playing catch up with that. So it's just an all around issue when it comes to being, in my opinion, one of the worst launches for a console in years that I can remember. It really is. The first time I wanted to buy a console when it first came out, but now I'm just deterred, and now I'm kind of like I have that I don't give a fuck attitude. I have that I'll get it when I get it attitude when it comes to the PlayStation 5 now, because there aren't any games to entice me. There isn't anything going on right now with the interface and with the operating system that I like right now. There's a lot of things that they have to basically take and take into the future, fix. I mean, I think they recently had like a graphics update recently, something about, there was some kind of gate behind that or something. I didn't read too much into it, but yeah, that's what I've been hearing in these video game streets. But yeah, things of that nature, those things should be available day one, in my opinion. I definitely will feel better about getting a system when a lot of these updates have taken place, and then I don't have to worry about some of the things that everybody has to deal with when you first get a new system like that. Anyway. So, I'm not hurting because I don't have the system, because there's nothing to play it with, nothing to play on it. So until that happens, I won't have one here. And by then, there should be ample supply of these systems at your local Targets and Walmarts and wherever else you can find them. So that's my cut on there. But yeah, Xbox is, they've got a lot of things in their back pocket apparently, and a lot of things yet to be seen. And like I said, the summer is going to tell a lot about where we're headed, where we're going in the future, guys. So I'll leave that topic there on the bed, and I'll tuck it in real nice. I gave it warm milk. I read it a bedtime story. It's done. It's over. Let's just move on to the next lecture at hand, guys. And the next lecture at hand is pretty much going to be the last topic, and it has to do with Sony. Yes, we just talked about Sony, but I have to say this one here kind of tickled me a little bit. I'm actually pleased to hear this. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know where they're going with this, but Sony has bought EVO. Okay, they have purchased EVO. If you're not familiar with what EVO is basically synonymous with the gaming community, fighting game community to be more specific. Okay, if you're into fighting games, then you know about EVO. You know something about EVO. There's tournaments. There's things of that nature. All kinds of things go down with EVO. Okay. And COVID, when COVID hit, it fucked up a lot of things. But now with the technology and everything we have now, there's a lot of online tournaments taking place, and there's going to be more in the future. And especially when a lot of these games deal with the certain net code situation, it's going to even be better than that. So one of the games that I'm pleased to hear that the net code is going to be A-OK to play is a game that I've been waiting to come to play for a while, and it's going to be King of Fighters 15. I've been waiting on this one. This is going to be my next fighting game purchase. I'm a big King of Fighters guy. I love King of Fighters. Yuri is like my favorite character. She is who I named my daughter after. Her character in general. I know there's a lot of Yuris out here in the Japanese culture and anime and all that, which is also cool. But she is the one that inspired me, to give my daughter that name. She's one of my favorite characters besides Sakura, female characters in the fighting game world, and Ken, which is another one. I call him Ken. But yes, she's extremely fucking wet, and I love her character. And the video not too long ago just came out with her showing some of her things and combos of what nature. Also, I'm a huge, the poster boy. Well, one of the poster boys of, I say, Fatal Fury. Is another guy with the ball cap and the motherfucking jean jacket with the cuts. You know who I'm talking about, guys. You know who I'm talking about. Bogart, okay? Terry Bogart. But yeah, he's another guy that I really love a lot. And he was also announced. So I just can't wait. I know they're going to have a shit ton of fighters in this game. And they overhauled the graphics. It's going to be different. So I cannot wait to play this game. It's coming out this year. I don't know the release date. I don't even think we have one yet, but it's got to be soon. But yeah, I'm definitely buying this one. I'll definitely have videos on this one, and I'll definitely be practicing this game. Yeah, I haven't played any Dragon Ball Fighters in quite some time. I need to get back in there too, guys. But man, but like with the PS4, it's just so much to do. It's so many fucking games. But back to the EVO thing, a lot of people are wondering, what is this going to change? Like if EVO is bought by Sony, is Sony going to, pull a, Vince McMahon and fuck everybody else, all the other consoles like Nintendo and things of that nature? Well, they have put everybody's souls at rest and said that just relax. That is not going to happen. Everything is going to continue for the most part as it has been. They will not affect the other consoles. And then I even heard like Nintendo put something out. I mean, they've been getting criticized for a lot of the shit that they do and how they conduct themselves when it comes to their games and their IPs and shit, because they're one of the most selfish, game companies out here, guys. They just really are. If you Google Nintendo, you'd find a lot of the boo-boo out here in these streets. A lot of people who work in Nintendo offices have been sipping the sake and definitely smoking the endo sticks. So I don't know what they're thinking right now, but apparently they need to get their act together, and they have basically made a comment talking about them, trying to get their act together when it comes to that and opening up their minds a little bit more on how they're running their IPs and things of that nature, like tournaments and stuff like that. Because if you're not familiar with, Nintendo, they have a huge community with in the Smash Brothers community, huge. different versions of the Smash Brothers community. They play different ones. I mean, they're thriving out there. So to be able to have online tournaments and things of that nature and actually be sponsored and stuff would be a dope thing. I mean, they would only be winning. They would only be creating great press for themselves to do that. And that's why I don't understand with Nintendo. It's like they shoot themselves in the foot a lot of the time. I mean, they feel that, if it's something of theirs, they don't want it being shown. You'll get demonetized on online, and there's a lot of stuff that comes with Nintendo and what they've done in the past to people, and it doesn't make any sense because all of these things, all this exposure is doing nothing but helping Nintendo. And I don't think they seem to understand that. A lot of people, at least who are in the boardrooms right now, they just, I think, need new management. I think they need somebody to come in there fresh and start anew, because this is not working, and they need to get their shit together soon. They really do, because they're pigeonholing themselves in a lot of these different situations. But Sony in general, of course, I'm sure that the game system of choice is going to be the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, things of that nature when they host these tournaments and everything like that. I think that's going to be the main thing. There might be a few other things in here. There might be some other fighting games that only come out for the PS4, and case in point, Street Fighter. Okay, yes, on PC, but you get my drift. Okay, there'll be games that come out. I'm assuming that would only be available on Sony's devices, and they will definitely take advantage of those. So I'm interested to see where it's going to go. I'm happy for Sony that they're doing something. They're making some moves, because all we've been hearing about is Xbox buying Bethesda and this and this and that, thinking about acquiring another company and all this shit, and you don't hear Sony doing anything. But then when this popped up, I'm like, okay, well, Sony's got something in the tank. They've got some things going for them too. And like I said, guys, I think later, like I say, 2022 is when we'll start to see snowball effects start to develop for, hopefully both systems. But I'm sure Sony for sure, as far as, every time you turn around now, there's a game coming out. Then you're not, before you know it, you're missing games left and right. You're going to end up having to come back around, months or years later to come back around and get a game that you missed or you forgot about, because there's so many now out here. That's where I want to be. I want to be to where, oh, we got shit coming out on every fucking corner, whether it's an indie title or whether it's a AAA title. I don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? But I just want games, and right now we're not there yet, and that's why I'm kind of cool and calm and relaxed when it comes to buying a PS5, being able to find one right now, because it's not going to do me any good right now if I found one tomorrow. It really wouldn't do me any good, because there's nothing there that I want to fucking play right now. So I'll leave it at that. That is my opinion. That's how I feel about it. But that is the news. That is the topic of discussion for today's show, guys. I hoped that, you liked the show today. I'm going to say this one last time. If you guys want to show love, support the show, anything like that, you can easily go and do that. If you go to www.studiomacgyver.com, you can listen to the podcast there. You can stream it, download it. You can go to all my handles. You can even download music that I've done. I have done music. I have music there that you can download. You can check out. I even have a Dragon Ball song, which is free. Talking about my love for Dragon Ball. And speaking of Dragon Ball, there will be some Dragon Ball talk next week, guys. I'm going to dig into some Dragon Ball stuff. There's been some things going on in the manga, but we still don't have anything going on for the anime. But hey, there's enough, I think, that we can have a little discussion on the manga, where it's going from here. So hold me to that. I hope to stay on that, and hopefully nothing major happens to where it kind of overshadows it. But I don't think it will. I will definitely be addressing that next episode. But I want to thank everybody for listening. I say this every week, guys, that I am highly humbled, very humbled by, everything that's been going on with this show, as far as the downloads and the people who are streaming this stuff, because I get to look at the stats, and the stats are very amazing. And it just shows that there's a lot of people out here, man, who really like what I'm fucking doing right now, like what I'm talking about. And it's a beautiful thing, man, that it's growing and getting more listeners. I just love it. And I love you guys even more. And with that being said, I'm going to get my ass up out of here. I'm going to edit this shit, and then I am going to bed. It's been a long fucking weekend. Yeah, it's going to be a longer week. So with that being said, guys, this is Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.